Matthias made it?
Alright, so we got another video here today. So this time it's gonna be a little bit different. We're actually gonna be doing a type beat tutorial. So today we got an offset type beat. I went back, listened to Father of Four again, you know, really solid body of work from Offset, true growth, and shows how far he's come from, you know, from young Offset to, you know, Father of Four Offset. So play it, I'm gonna play it and then explain it. Alright, so for the melody, what we got here is a sample made by me that was included in a Spicy Sunday pack. So this is sampled by itself, play it without any effects though. So this is the dry sample. Alright, so now we just got an EQ here, cutting out some of the low end and then cleaning up a little bit of that mud, which it was already like pre-processed, but you know, extra cut doesn't kill. Then we got halftime, cut some of the high, cut some of the lows, and we got looperator here just to add some effect onto the melody itself. Then we got RC20. The only thing that's here is these dropouts. So like when you hear it like cut like in and out, it's like when it's stuttering a little bit. That's like a cool effect from RC20, which is nice. A little bit over, we can turn it down a little bit. So there's that. And as you notice with like all the melodies that were on Father of Four, they were very simple, but they had like good texture. So like what I noticed what they would do is they would have like the normal piano, then they would have a high one and just have it really reverb, so it creates a nice texture, and then just have like one or two layers, so it was no more than 3 or 4 sounds max. And then of course you know, the production work was done by Metro and Southside. So as we all know, Southside's melodies are always got like, you know, the glitch effects and what have you and whatnot, whereas, you know, Metro's is kind of like simple and straight to the point in most cases. So we kind of took a Southside approach here with the whole thing, except for in the drum work is kind of a mixture. And yeah, so the melody speaks for itself, you know, good textures, nicely just, it's got some distortion on it in the pre-processing stage before it became the sample. Alright, now let's talk drums. So we got this simple 808, just basically following the chords as you see here. And of course the 808 is just copy of the kick pattern. Keep it simple, you know, not too basic though. So when you hear the 808 by itself, then you got the kick. So the kick's kind of acousticy. So like this kick, I didn't have to sidechain it, which sidechaining the kick to the 808 is like one of those old school Travis Scott things, like Al Farrell and Days Before Rodeo used to sidechain like an acoustic kick to the 808 all the time. And then for the snare, on the 3, like got your basic polo snare. You can find this in like any kit. And then you got your perk just hitting on the, got your perks hitting on the 2, right before the 2 and after the 4. Hi-hats. So the hi-hat's kind of simple with a little dropout for this first one. And it's got the pitch bend. Not too long of a pitch bend, just like pitch bending on the rolls. And then up under that, you got a dragging hi-hat groove. So like layering hi-hats and having one dragging and one like a normal one always creates a nice contrast and keeps things interesting. And then as far as the arrangement goes, in like the like offset, you know, songs and what have you, there's always like these little parts right here, like these 1 bar to 2 bar dropouts, or 1.5 or 1 1/4, however you want to describe it, which adds like that kind of thump to it. So like when you go from here, so like that's where like say like Offset would say something slick right there, you know what I'm saying? And so forth. So let's see what else we got. Oh, and then we got the automations for the looperator and the halftime bypass. So the looperator is every other bar for the first verse, then it doesn't play in the second verse, and then doesn't play at the end, and then back to every other bar. The halftime is only in the intro and the hooks. And so yeah, this was my version of an Offset beat. And like if you wanted to, what you could do is like at the beginning of say or end, wherever you want to, wherever you feel is tastefully, what you could do is you could take a looperator and put it on your drums and then do like some more drum work. But for this one I just want to kind of keep it simple, but you know, it's not basic because you know the melody has good texturing and whatnot. So really the important takeaways from this is make sure your melody's texture not overly full, and make sure your drums, you know, beat, and always make sure your 808 is following the bass in the chords, because it always sounds better instead of just having that stale 808 just hitting every time the kick hits. And also you can take away some of the kick hits when the 808 hits, and then the dragging hi-hat groove layered with the straightforward hi-hat groove, and then making sure your perks bounce off of each other. You know, just keep it simple, but you know, creative. So that'll be all today, and that is the Offset type beat, Matthias.